Welcome to the Second Scoop. I'm Cheng, here to give you another scoop of this week's gun news. Here at my parents' place home for Thanksgiving, and so happy Thanksgiving. Hope everyone has safe travels to either see family or friends and eat lots of good turkey on Thursday. And so let's jump right into it. So the top story for this week is the grand jury decision in Ferguson, Missouri. They decided not to indict Darrell Wilson, who is the white police officer who shot Michael Brown, an 18-year-old African American. And this decision, we've been waiting for it for a good few weeks. And unfortunately, we're seeing some rioting not happen just in Ferguson, but also in other cities throughout the country. Hopefully, there continue to be some more peaceful protests, and regardless of whatever decision or whatever opinion that you may have about the grand jury decision, if we want to protest, we should do so in a peaceful manner. That is one of the great things about living in America, is that we can voice our opposition to the government, but we should do it in a peaceful, organized, and structured way. And we'll hopefully see peace and calm prevail throughout this really challenging time in our country. Second story in the news here is in California. We've got some more good progress for pro-gun rights. The Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals upheld a recent decision regarding California's 10-day waiting period. Now, what's going on is there's a lawsuit saying that certain classes of gun owners, such as people who have a CCW permit or already own a gun, should not have to go through a 10-day waiting period when they want to buy another firearm. Waiting periods aren't a terrible thing, but they, I think, are most effective when applied to a very narrow group of gun owners, and that's first-time gun owners. Waiting periods were originally designed to prevent suicides, to prevent the person who just wants to go to a gun store, buy a gun, and kill themselves by suicide. And so I think waiting periods are fine for first-time gun owners, since they don't have a gun. It's their first gun that they've ever purchased. But for people like me and millions of other Americans who already own a gun, there's just no sense for us to have to wait another 1 day, 3 day, 10 days for another firearm. And what's happened is that a lot of states, including California here, are basically leveraging a 10-day waiting period as a way of slowing down our acquisition of firearms, and there's just really no good or constitutional rationale around upholding a 10-day waiting period for existing gun owners. The Attorney General appealed the ruling, and this appeal was not upheld by the Ninth Circuit, and so it is currently going to the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, and so we'll hopefully have some more good news report on this front when the appeals court hears the case. In our third story of the week, Taurus has announced a brand new gun. It's called the Curve. And I gotta give Taurus credit. They definitely thought outside of the box here, and you can see that the grip is curved. It's designed as a concealed carry firearm. Right now they're marketing it to women, but I don't see any reason why guys can't also carry the Curve. It's chambered in 380 ACP, and I'll be getting my hands on a Curve in the next few months, and so be ready for a review. I'm going to take a look and see what this Curve is all about. In this week's segment of A Good Gal with a Gun, a couple was arguing in Louisiana. The mother was trying to take her children and flee the house, and as she was attempting to do so outside, the husband got into his car and started driving towards his wife and her children. And fortunately, the woman was able to produce a pistol, and she fired into the car and killed the man who was unfortunately her husband, but thankfully she was able to protect herself and her children from bodily harm. Finally, in this week's video of the week, Larry Vickers over at Vickers Tactical reviews a brand new belt-fed upper by Ares Defense. And so you can take an existing M16 or M4 platform, plop on this upper, basically put in a magazine sled, and all of a sudden you can latch on a 100-round belt and go to town. Now, what's great about this innovation is it fills a gap between the M249 saw, which is also chambered in 5.56, and your standard M16 or M4, which typically uses 30-round magazines. The M249 has its belt-fed system, but it also weighs a lot more than your typical M4 or M16. So head over to Vickers Tactical and check it out. That's it for this week's Second Scoop. Hope you thought it was as delicious as I did, and hope to see you again next Tuesday for the next episode of The Second Scoop.